The John Sterling Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now we're back, and we're back with a really good baseball buddy of mine. And this fella has only one problem in coming on the show. It's his granddaughter's first birthday. So
I was wondering if you could hear all the kids screaming in the background in the yard.
Oh, it sounds great. Are you kidding? That's what I want.
How are you, John?
Here is Lee Mazzilli, one of my buddies for years in baseball. I'm fine. How are you doing, Lee?
I'm doing great. It's so good to talk to you, and it's so good to hear that great voice of yours that I miss hearing.
Well, and, I miss it too. I miss it too, but I don't miss going someplace every single day. So this is perfect for me. This is a once a week show, and that's about my speed once. Now, Maz, here's why I wanted you on the show this week. Now, you can come on anytime.
Right.
I wanted because I remembered the All-Star game that you starred in, and I think it was Seattle in '79. Am I right?
That's correct. Yep.
Whoa! Because I have nothing written down. That's inside my two heads.
That's inside your baseball encyclopedia mind that you have.
So talk about that. I'll talk that first of all. Let me say this: that was in the era of that movie, which I'm losing the movie with John Travolta.
Oh, Saturday Night Fever.
So Vin Scully, the greatest, introduces Lee Mazzilli, and here's what he said. And here is Mr. Saturday Night Fever himself, Lee Mazzilli.
Really? He was on radio at that time.
Yeah, that I remember. I remember hearing it. You never heard that, huh?
No, I never heard any radio recording of that game. You know, because hey, listen, back in '79, you didn't have the social media and the videotape and all that like that. You had one camera that took a shot, and no, I never heard that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool? That's exactly what he said. Now, tell me what you did in the game.
Well, I got lucky and hit a home run off Jim Kern. I pinch hit, I forget what inning, 6th or 7th inning of that game, and I hit a home run off Jim Kern. And then I got back up in the 9th inning with the bases loaded, and I was facing one of my best buddies now, to this day, and Ron Guidry.
Oh.
And here he is, Gator and Gator was, great in 1978. He had a 25-3 record, best pitcher in baseball. And it was New York against New York, and I knew who Gator was, obviously facing him. And I got lucky, and he walked me with the bases loaded. And being such good friends, I'd always say to him, "You didn't want to pitch to me. You just didn't want to pitch to me." He'd laugh, and then he'd strike me out in the old timers game on purpose when we faced each other.
You know what I heard? David Cohn told me this, that in all-star games like that, the batters don't really have any pressure. They want to get a base hit. They want to have a good at-bat. He said the pitchers, though, take it very seriously. They don't really want to give up hits.
Yeah. You know what? Obviously I'm not participating in any all-star games now, so I think the atmosphere is a lot more friendlier. And you could see the interaction more. Back in '79, John, when I walked into that clubhouse, you're talking about Nolan Ryan, Carl Yastrzemski, Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, you had Nolan Ryan. It was a little different. Like you walked in there with your eyes wide open, your mouth dropping. I was 24. I just got out of high school a few years ago. So it was a different feeling for me to walk in there and to see all these guys. I mean, you're playing against the history of baseball. So I don't know. I thought when I went to the plate, I wanted to do something good. I didn't know what it would be, but for me, I think those guys gave their best shot because you wanted to beat the best of the best.
Yeah, I must be the greatest. Must be the greatest thrill, as you say, to walk in to the clubhouse and see nothing but the greatest stars in the game.
Yeah, it's just, looking at those names and you see guys that, all Hall of Famers, but, Yaz. I mean, come on, man. Look at that. Nolan Ryan. I mean, Steve Carlton, Lou Brock was there. I mean, yeah, it's special. I think every player that goes to an All-Star game just really appreciates that and seeing the great, great players of the history of the game.
Well, I have to bring this up because there's such a profound difference in how the game was played then and how it's played now. What are some of your thoughts?
Well, it's funny you said it's a different game. For better or worse, it's just different. The evolution of the game, it's changed. I had a conversation with your friend as well as mine, Joe Torre. And we were not too long ago. And I said, Joe, do you remember when we were playing and we were at second base and we would always, you were taught as little leaguers, hey, look where the outfielders are and you want to see if they're playing in or deep, whatever. You check the outfielders. I said, Joe, you know what we used to check at second base? We used to check who was catching because we had to know who was the catcher because on a base hit, we knew that catcher was looking to hurt us. We had to take that guy out. And Joe, you know what Joe's answer was? No kidding. Because now I'm on second base. I got Johnny Bench. I got Manny Sanguian, Gary Carter. I got these guys that are looking to hurt me. If I come sliding in, hurt me or anyone, when you're coming in to score on a base hit. And now you're not even allowed to block the plate. So from that point of the game, boy, it's changed. I mean, I remember going to spring training. You had sliding pits. They would teach you how to do roll blocks at second base. This is how you roll block. This is how you take someone out. And if you did not do that, you caught hell from your teammates.
Yeah, the Yankees once had a guy. His name was Bob Serb. He was an ex-football player from Nebraska. Right. Had a very wide body, tough guy. The Yankees used him to pinch run.
Yeah,
take out the second baseman and shortstop.
Yep. I remember when I first came up with the Mets in '76, and Seaver and Kuzman and Matlock and Joe Torre was my teammate then, and I remember not getting a guy at second base, and I got back into the dugout, and Jerry Kuzman, who I love dearly, just one of my favorite teammates, comes over to me and says, "You got to take him out." Not in a bad way, but in a good way of telling you how to play the game. And I agreed with him. But he was a guy that always would protect his players. If someone threw up and in at me or another player on the team, Kuzman would come over and say, "Hey, you want me to get him for you?" That was his mindset,
I love it.
So, yeah. And then, what the scariest part of the whole game is that we only had a little helmet on. We had no flaps or anything, and no armor. You were bare when you went up there. You were bare. It's a different game. Like I said, it's not. I don't know if it's better or worse. It's very generational. I think it's the way you play, the way you were taught, and it's today it's just different. That's all.
Yeah, I read a story once where a guy came to the Dodgers, and he didn't move a runner. And Pee Wee Reese went over to him, and he just said, "Over here, we move runners." And
right.
Boy, on so many Yankee broadcasts, I'm begging somebody, hit a ground ball to the right side, get him to third. But
in a very subtle way, he said that too, probably.
Yes. I'm sure, because he's a good guy.
And he got the point across. Yep. The good old days, John. It's like every part of life, everything changes. It's not only baseball.
Well, we're getting older, Maz, and so you're right. Everything changes. In baseball, do you know the catfish hunter in his first year with the Yanks threw 34 complete games?
Wow.
You could spend the rest of your life, you wouldn't see 34 complete games.
Oh, no, I could believe that. But the good thing that we have we have memories. We have good memories. And that is something no one could take away from us, those good memories of the games. It's just special.
What are your thoughts, Maz, since you were with both teams?
Yeah.
What do you think of their chances this year, the Mets and the
Yankees? I don't like the chances if they stay pat. I think they both need to do something.
Oh.
And, because I think it's going to catch up to you if you don't have pitching and you don't have a bullpen. So I believe both are going to get to the playoffs, and now it depends how far you get. Now, the one thing that is that you don't have to be the best team, but you have to play well for 3 weeks in October. That's when you got to play well. And, now, as you notice, managers are using the same 3 guys every day in the playoffs, 3, 4 guys. So I think they need to shore up their bullpens, both teams. I think, the Yankees are looking for a third baseman and a starter as well. And the same thing with the Mets. And it really is going to, what they do at the trade deadline for me is going to say, oh, now I see where they're going to be come October. I just think now both teams are short in the pen and they're scratching. Now, look at the Mets. The Mets, was it the Mets yesterday? No, the Yankees, I'm sorry. Come out of the All-Star break and went to bullpen.
Yeah, they started an opener, and I might add it did not work.
You just had 4 days off.
Yes, that was another problem. Well, they have two starters who are mildly injured. I asked this of different players because I love the fact that they know everything about it. So I'll ask you right now, Maz. Your first major league hit.
Yes.
Well, I know you had one. Where was it and who was it off?
Oh, I could tell you exactly where it was.
Okay.
And I was sitting next to Joe Torre, and he kind of threw me up there to hit. We were in Chicago. It was off Darryl Knowles, left-handed pitcher. Yes, and I hit a pinch hit 3-run home run for my first major league hit in Chicago.
My goodness!
So let me tell you a quick story if I can.
Please, we have time.
I got called up, and they said, you're not going to play. You're going to we want you to get the feel of the major league ballparks and learn all this, and I want you. And Joe took me right away and said, "You stay with me." And I sat down with him right on the dugout in Old Wrigley Field, and he was saying, "This guy plays here, this guy throws." He was explaining to me big league life. So about the seventh inning or so, Joe Frazier was the manager at the time, and he said, "Hey, there's only 2 people in the entire world called me Mo. He called me Mo, and God rest his soul, Yogi called me Mo. I don't know how they got Mo out of Maz, but they got Mo." Right?
Okay.
So he said, "Mo." And I didn't answer him. And I said, "Mo." He answered, and Joe finally nudges me. He goes, "Hey, he wants you to go up there and hit." I went, "Oh, Christ, you told me I wasn't playing." So Joe said, "Go up there, get up there and get pitch." So anyway, I get up to home plate, and I forget the pitcher who I faced. I'll remember it. And anyway, my leg would not stop shaking in the batter's box. Just would not stop shaking. And I finally took a pitch, whatever, and finally grounded out. And I get back to the dugout. And I just come back and sit next to Joe. I said, "Joe, is it going to be like this every at-bat?" Because my leg was shaking. I couldn't even stand still in the batter's box. And then Joe says to me, "Don't worry, it gets better." And I said, Lord, I hope so. Right? Very next day, same scenario, John. Same one pops up. We're sitting at the edge of the dugout. He said, "Mo, Mo." And Seaver was pitching. He said, "Go up and pinch hit." I think I pinched hit for, I don't know, Beauclair or someone. And Seaver was pitching in the game. It was a big game, right? I said, "Oh, Christ." I said, "Oh, man." So I say to so Joe says, get up there. So I say to myself, I said, "Listen, I know what happened yesterday. I know that I am not waiting for one. First pitch I see, I'm swinging," because I didn't want my legs shaking in the dugout. That's how nervous I was. So I get in the batter's box, and I'm swinging at the first pitch. Darryl Knowles throws me a big old curveball, the very first pitch. And I just swung at that first pitch, hit a 3-run home run. I come back to the bench. Joe looks at me and says, "I told you it gets better." True story.
Well, that's great.
Story.
That's a great story.
Yeah, true story. So
okay, well, give your granddaughter a kiss for me. Wish her happy birthday.
I will. Thank you, John, so much. And it's so good to hear your voice, my friend. so good.
Well,
and keep continued for another 13 more years, my friend.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
It'll be awesome. And I'll be on every year with you.
Okay, you have to be on the air then.
I will.
All right, Maz, say hello to everybody. And
thank you, John. Thank you so much, my friend. Good luck.
Thank you, and come back. Well, I never read that, did I? I'm going to read it right now. Oh, please. I'm not going to get in trouble. Well, we just went to the 77 WABC ActionCarting.com phone line, New York City's premier waste and recycling provider. And we're going to break and sell some items, and then we'll come back with our second guest, big-time writer, coming up here on The Sterling Show on 77 WABC.
The John Sterling Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.